Well, hey everybody. My name is Nathan Jones, and I see one person in the chat. I hope everyone is doing great. I hope people can join this live chat. I'm excited to just start off this live chat with a thank you to everybody who has supported me over the last 4 years. It's crazy how I've been here for 4 years on YouTube. But yeah, I'm going to wait a little bit for people to join. I see one person in here right now. They give me a thumbs up, which is nice. I hope people are able to stop by. Oh, there's two people now. Hey, Vanessa, how are you? I am doing this real quick to. Can everyone hear me? By the way, I just want to say before I can. Hey, Doug, how are you? I hope everyone can hear me right now. I haven't really tested the audio, but I'm excited to do this. And okay, good. Sounds good. So yeah, today I just wanted to do a quick Q&A and then also a thank you video for all these years of support, even if it's, there's been a few people who have come to the channel most recently in the last year. Honestly, I've seen a lot of growth in the last year, and I've developed a lot of great friends over the past probably 6 or 7 months. Really, those have been really great for YouTube. And honestly, I think the community at large has been just phenomenal, and I think that we're in a really great time for the things that are going out in the real world right now. We're able to all see, where things are headed, and I think for the most part in the physical media realm, it's a positive, or at least the community is. I don't know about the physical media, as you probably all have seen Heath's video with Films at Home, and then also talking about just the future of physical media. I know that's a big thing too. Warner Brothers is losing some jobs, and there's just a lot of really crazy things with live streams, and there's a lot of topics I'm sure we could all talk about. But I know that they've been talked a lot about, and but yeah, I just wanted to do this live stream to kind of say thank you to each of you for being here and being a support over all these years. I think it's fantastic. It's crazy that I've gotten to 2,000 subscribers. This is like, I'm baffled. I could really only see 50 or 60 people that I think would actually literally want to listen to me. So it's a little bit humbling to know that a lot of people out there actually want to watch my channel, which is nice. Vanessa asks, tell us how your shelves have changed. It looks different. Okay, so my shelves. If you can see behind me, I've changed up a little bit. At least this shelf behind me right here. I decided to. I wanted to have all of my criterions up top. I love these indicator sets, but for some reason it's really weird just how much space I have over this way. You can kind of see it with everything. And so anyway, as you can see probably behind me, these are all color coded. So these are all the movies that I've seen here behind me on the second shelf. Up here, with starting right here, I think with A Night to Remember, all the way that way is films I have not seen yet, and I'm going to add them to the color palette eventually. And then behind me are some box sets. I've seen most of those box sets. There's a few that I haven't seen. And then over here, some Eureka titles. And then, down here are my indicator. Behind me are Kino Lorber, Warner Archive, Arrow is behind me, and Scream Factory. And so that's kind of what that looks like. And then down here, down below, you can kind of see I actually have a complete empty shelf down below, some steelbooks and some more boutique Blu-ray titles. And then over here on that side is actually my extra shelf with some box sets that I like to kind of display. I normally don't show them on the channel too much, but yeah, that's kind of how my shelves are changing. And on the other side of the bay, which you can't see right now, is where all of my normal Blu-rays are. And it's slowly eroding as well a little bit. Hey, out of the past. Hey, Raquel, how are you? But yeah, great question, Vanessa, or at least felt, it wasn't a question, but, I'm excited to kind of see and free up a little bit of my spacing and in my shelving. I'm sounding really weird. I normally don't do live streams. Aaron has to be really good at this to actually interact with everybody hey Phil, and also answer questions because it's just really, really difficult for me. But yeah, this is something that's new. I don't really normally do live streams, but I'm excited to answer some questions. Does anyone have any questions for me right now? I know I can see a few of you watching, and I'm glad that Vanessa helped me start it out with talking about the shelving. Where do I keep my books, Raquel? Unfortunately, they're not in this room. They are out in my living room. I actually have a similar setup like that right over there. That's where my movie shelves are. I built some stands out there in my living room, which has all my books on it, and it's running out of space too. I need to start donating some to the library because they're not. Some of the books I'm not going to read more than once, and so they're all out there, and I actually have some books over here that I'm reading right now. I'm reading that 52 more must-see movies from TCM. I love these TCM books. Shout out to Vanessa. Thank you for that. I can't wait to finish this. And then I have a few other books that I'm reading. Some other books that I'm reading are some Agatha Christie a book from Agatha Christie because I really liked And Then There Were None. And then also I have a Carrie Fisher biography, her newest one that I'm going to be reading. But anyway, reading, I love it, and I love talking about it as well as I talk about movies. Hey, Dave, how are you? Thank you so much for saying that. It's really humbling to have 2,000 people watch this, even though I know it's not the case. What is the best biography you've read so far in 2020/2021? Asked Vanessa. That's a good one. I would say the David Bowie biography that I recently read is the one that had me the most emotional. It's the one that I definitely cried a lot at the end, and it was quite an experience. Hold on a second. I think David Bowie: A Life is what it was called. Yeah. So David Bowie: A Life, and it is written by Dylan Jones. So I really, really love that one. And I also really like the Bruce Lee biography that I read. I thought that was really great too. All right, Cinema Dave asks, other than biographies, do you have favorite nonfiction book? Okay. I read a lot of historical books as well. So I guess my favorite nonfiction book usually, I'm eventually going to read Guns, Germs, and Steel. I know that's like a really big historical book, talking a lot about just the history of all three of those things and how much it's influenced and changed the world. I really love reading those types of books and biographies quite a bit. Other than biographies, there's some books on some different movements in the world. So I really like I know this is almost similar to biographies, but I like transcendentalism out of the Northeast. A lot of the Henry David Thoreau and Ralph Waldo Emerson stuff. I like reading about that time period quite a bit. Frederick Douglass and stuff. I know that's all biography stuff, but I really love reading about that time period. And then also and I read a lot of fantasy too, some fantasy and some fiction, but I know that's not what you asked, Dave. But yeah, I'm kind of all over the place. I'm interested in everything. And I think actually everybody here has a problem with liking so much stuff that they just have a hard time really focusing. And I think it's really great. But it's a good problem to have. Trust me. Let's see. Raquel says, I have the Criterion Olympics set. I've been meaning to jump into that because this year the Olympics are back on, and I would really like to jump into that. In fact, I watched maybe the first hour of the first film, which is about 3 hours long, so it's a lot. I think around the summertime I'm going to jump into that because it's a lot. It's a big monster to jump into. All right, so more and more people are coming in. I love that. Raquel says Guns, Germs, and Steel. I cannot wait to read that book. I've heard so many good things. Let's see. That's I didn't know, Raquel, you lived so close to all the stuff that Thoreau, Emerson, and Alcott read and wrote about. That's really great. All right, so Rage 5606, I'm glad to see you. Not movie related, but related to your viewing. What TV/Blu-ray player are you using to watch your movies? Just wondering if you have a big theater setup or not. So actually, I'm pretty bare bones with my setup. I just have a 4K TV over in the corner. Actually, I wrote it down because somebody asked this earlier. I have a 55-inch X8500D is the Sony, and that's what I have for my TV. And then for the 4K player, I just recently got it, and I cannot remember the model, but it's a region-free player. I just got it for Christmas, and I think it was around $300. But it's maybe eventually I can come back to this and actually like write it down. But because nobody asked me about my 4K player, but yeah, it's nice. I like it. But other than that, I don't have like a sound bar or speakers or anything like that, which I know a lot of people are really into the technical aspects of it. I generally only watch movies more recently and TV shows at night when I get home. And I really hardly have any time during the day, which is a big running joke. I hardly have any time for anything. I'm always busy. Let's see. Mary. Hey, Mary, how are you? Just bought the TCM Forbidden Hollywood. I want to start pre-code movies. Oh my God. I want to get that book. And I also want to watch more and more pre-code movies. I know there's some people, Raquel and Vanessa in particular, who are really great bundles of knowledge for pre-code movies, and I would love to read those and watch more of those movies because I'm still pretty new to them as well. Actually, my roommate, who has been on the channel before, my friend Palmer, he is actually going to help me out. I don't know if any of you remember this, but a few years ago, I did a thing called the 100 Years of Movies. And I talked about each from 1918 all the way up to 2018. I talked about my favorite movie from each year. That's really daunting. But this year, I'm going to be tackling it with some friends. And Palmer will be my first person that I'll be doing that this month with. So I hope to start that. And so we'll talk about some pre-codes and some silent films. And I'm excited about it. So anyway, Thomas says Northwest, Rhode Island, H.P. Lovecraft. Yeah, I need to read more H.P. Lovecraft. Ethan Hughes. Hey, man, I'm just wondering, what do you think will win at the Oscars this year? And do you have any favorites from this year? Okay, so confession time. And I'm sure a lot of people are probably in a similar boat. Most of us, I haven't watched very many films this year, and I have literally no idea who's going to win. I haven't even looked. Let me even look at the Oscars. I haven't even figured it out, but you know what? I really liked Soul quite a bit. I think that was a really, really great film from Disney. Let's see. I'm entering the thing. Are they even? By the way, are they even up? Are the nominations even up? I haven't even checked. Get back to me on that. A video about Forbidden Hollywood book, Raquel. I need to watch that because I also want to read that as well. Let's see. Yeah, it's a great place to start. I'm sure, and I'm looking forward to watching that. The nominations are not live. Okay, I know that they put out the nominations for the Golden Globes, correct? Anyone want to put that out? I haven't watched any of the things from this year really terribly too much, but the movies that I did enjoy from this year that I can remember watching, Sound of Metal, I really liked that one. I thought that was a really great film with Reza. I can't remember his last name, but he did a really, really great job in that film. Also, I really liked Invisible Man with Elizabeth Moss, and I love Elizabeth Moss. I think she's great. Not just in Handmaid's Tale. I like her past work. I've seen her a lot with Mark Duplass in a lot of his movies that I really, really like, and I think she's just a phenomenal actress. And also Mad Men. I love Mad Men. That's a really, really great, really, really great show that I haven't watched in a long, long time. In fact, I've actually been watching some TV shows recently. Starting with in December when The Mandalorian came out, I had to watch more TV. So I started watching, some of you already know this, but I started watching the Hammer House of Horror. This is like a 13-part anthology series. And this is just a really, really fun little TV series from Hammer from 1980. And I'm actually going to be doing a video on this in the near future. I want to watch some of the audio commentaries on this and just talk a little bit more about the special features because I've seen all the episodes. Some of them are hit and miss, but I would love to talk about that. So I've been watching some TV. I've also been watching Vikings, and I've been really enjoying that. I kind of took a pause for a year and a half, and I haven't really caught up with it, but I'm enjoying what I'm seeing right now. And I think, other than that, I've been watching a few movies here and there, but yeah, I'm in TV mode right now, and when I have time, I can watch some movies. All right, so the Golden Globes are out. I haven't checked it out. Yeah, Invisible Man is incredible, and I think that I honestly wish obviously the Oscars and the Golden Globes, and they don't really look at horror that much, but I feel like with Get Out or Hereditary, those movies kind of getting some steam in the last few years. I think it's deserving to look at for sure. All right, let's see. Vanessa says, every time I think about Elizabeth, I think of Girl Interrupted. I haven't seen that. I need to. I really need to. Thomas asks, I noticed that you organize your Criterion collection by color of the spines. Kind of strange. Yeah, it is. I think it's visually appealing. I like it. I generally know where the things are behind me. For the most part, I can usually find stuff that I need to find, so it's not really that hard. But I think it's visually appealing to me. I've tried all sorts of things. I did spine number. I've done alphabetized, but besides that, I just wanted a creative way to do it. Let's see. Film introduction. Zach says Nathan is the best. Go Chiefs. Yeah. Today is the Super Bowl, and I'm not huge. I don't like football, I like basketball. But yes, basketball is happening today too. But everyone here in Missouri, where I'm at, is just insane about that right now because everyone wants to go watch that at the moment. I'm glad. Hey, Bristolian Dave, it's nice to talk to you. I've been meaning to go back and watch a lot of your recent videos. I've been meaning to actually catch up on YouTube. I don't know how many of you have this issue, but this is real talk right now. I want to say, just with the nature of us all being so busy, I have a really difficult time kind of catching up and watching so many of your videos. Everybody who's watching this, I think. So if I know that we all have different things going on in our life, but for the most part, I've been busy with work and whatnot, but I do like to pop in here and there and try to watch all your videos. And if I can leave a comment, but sometimes I just watch it and I have to go do something else. But I hope everyone is able, to understand that a little bit. I know we're all human. Raquel asks, do you update a spreadsheet doc to keep track of your collection? So actually I have an application on my phone and it is called CLZ Movies. So I would actually recommend this to everybody who has a big collection, that you might figure out well, what the heck do I have? Right. For the most part, I know what I have. But I have this thing called CLZ Movies right here, and it keeps track of all the movies. I just scan the barcode. So I'll say CLZ Movies. You can download it like an app store. I think it's like $14.99 or $12.99, something like that for a one-time purchase. I think it's free if it's like the first 100 movies, but none of us here have just 100 movies. I know that. So, but yeah, it's really, really helpful. I keep track of all the things that I've seen and haven't seen, and the not seen pile is way too much, and I need to fix that. And that's another reason why I've been cutting back a little bit, but everyone knows that. But yes, so that's Zach says go Pacers. Yes, I'm the only Pacers fan I know. So anyway, basketball, right? Cinematic Collector says, hello, Mr. Jones. Hello. How are you? Yeah, actually, it's funny you say Mr. Jones because I am an instructor, and that's what people call me when I teach. But I also let them know, you can call me Nathan. I don't care. I think it's fine. I have no issue with that. I'm pretty relaxed. I'm pretty lackadaisical when I teach, and but for the most part, I want to make sure that the students are comfortable in my classroom because I teach public speaking. It's a class that not everyone likes, and there's a lot of people who are just terrified to go up in front of another person or just a group of people who don't even know who you are. So we do a lot of things that try to make sure that everyone kind of understands each other and also just can comfortable around each other. But anyway, enough about that. Cinema Dave agree. It's tough to keep up with YouTube videos. I know it is. But the more and more I meet people, the more I get involved with the community. It's honestly a little overwhelming, but it's a good type of overwhelming. And but I just wanted to let everyone know that like I still try to keep up, and I definitely love each and every one of you. I think this is like fantastic that we're in this community of all things. I think it's really, really crazy that we're all here doing this in 2021. I didn't know what year it was. Yeah, Bristolian Dave. Yeah, no problem. I love your content from what I've seen so far. All right, Cinema Dave asks, what are your my top 3 Criterion films on your wish list to pick up? Oh, that's a good one. I definitely want that Wong Kar-wai box set. That's definitely my number one off the top of my head of things that I definitely want to get, because I really love In the Mood for Love. It's the only film that I've seen by him. I haven't even seen Chongqing Express. I would love to, but that is something that I'm really interested in. Besides that, there's probably a few titles that I would like to get that I'm probably not thinking about off the top of my head. I haven't really looked terribly too much on Criterion's website recently, but there's quite a few classic films that I would love to get, because I'm definitely watching a lot more films from the 1930s and 40s, and there's some silent cinema that I would like to get as well. But I'm all over the map. I honestly I need to probably get some of. Oh, I do know. I would like to get. Why am I thinking brief encounter? I would like to get that one for sure. But good question, Dave. You stumped me. I haven't looked it up. Do I have Goodreads? Let's see. Bristolian Dave says it's a great community, met a lot of cool people. The amount of people collecting habits very astounds. But yeah, we all have different collecting habits, and I think it's crazy. And especially, we've really been talking about the collecting habits a lot recently in this community. And I think it's a good discussion to have, because so background about me is my dad, he is a hoarder. And so I have a gene of collection. I like to collect things. I got that probably from him, but I've always liked to collect a lot of these things. And I really try to steer away from the hoarding aspect of it, because all of this is organized. I know where things are. That's where the difference between a hoarder and a collector are, is you know where everything's at. And for the most part, I'm more keen with getting rid of things. I think eventually there are some things that I just don't want to part with at all ever. But for the most part, I think it's really cool that we all have different collecting habits, and I think it's really great. I need to go back a little bit. All right. So Raquel says, any film recommendations for watching during Black History Month? So I haven't really thought about some of the things I'm going to be watching for the month, but I'm sure going to be rewatching some things like If Beale Street Could Talk, a movie that is, I want to read that book, first of all, but I love that movie so much. When Moonlight won its Best Picture, I really also love that. I would love to watch those. And let's see, I'm trying to think of some other. Monsters and Men is a really great film that came out a few years ago. It's an independent film. It has Daveed Diggs in it as well, and I love him. Daveed Diggs actually has a independent hip hop group called Clipping. If any of you like Death Grips or any experimental hip hop, definitely give it a shout and listen to. But yeah, there's some things. Raquel, are you going to watch anything during Black History Month? I want to actually kind of pick your brain, because I'm sure you're more on that radar. There's a few things I want to read. I do have a Frederick Douglass biography that I would love to read this month, and I think this would be a good time for that. Let's see. Cinema Dave agreed on the Wong Kar-wai set. Yes. Yeah, I really want that. Thomas, yes, I knew this was coming up. I got a notification from Target. They have an online sales where you buy 2, get 1 free deal during this Saturday. The Criterion costs $28, so $56 for 3. Jesus, with all these sales going on, I think it's going to kill me. I actually did get a few things recently, which I'll be showing later in a collection video or like a haul video. But I may or may not partake in this Target sale that's going on, because there's a few Criterions, I think some Arrows that are on sale, and some Kinos as well. So if any of you want to go check out Target, I think they're doing a buy 2, get 1 free sale. I may look over what they have, and I think it's really great. Vanessa says silent film. Of course, you love silent film. Chris, how are you doing? Chris Moen, evening. Yes, it's evening time over there. It's around 6:30. your time. I hope you're doing great, man. I'm really loving these watch lists. In fact, I've kind of taken a page from you and Rob over at the Movie Vault. I really want to start doing like a weekly update of like the things I'm watching. Might be an undertaking for me. I might do it 2 weeks. Who knows? SGS says, "Hey Nathan, it's a bit late. Oh, you're perfectly fine, man. I'm glad to see you here. My favorite person who he actually asked the first question when I asked some questions back. He asked me if what did he say exactly? Will you marry me? I'm ready to enchant you with my voluptuous divine snobbery. I've already kind of promised this to my best friend. I'd marry him. He's up in Canada now. He's up in British Columbia. It's going to be really hard to go find him. He's studying the moose right now, but I'm promised to him. So I'm sorry, SJS. Let's see. Cinema Dave said he just placed an order for buy two get one. What did you get, Dave? Tell me, or if you want to save it for a video, I would like to know. Bristolian Dave asks, do you import any titles from other countries, any particular labels you like? Yes, I do import from the UK quite often. I really love Powerhouse Films Indicator. That's probably my number one. I also get some stuff from Eureka sometimes when there's some really good things like the Mothra thing right over here, the Mothra set. Box set. But yeah, for the most part, there's some Arrows. I know we have Arrow here in the US as well, but I know there's a lot of really great things coming out of the UK and Australia too. Actually, I just recently talked about this Hammer House of Horror. This is from Imprint Films, and I actually picked this up from Diabolique DVD, which is one of the US distributors for this, and I also have Hard 8 from the UK, or some from Australia. But I would love to get more imprint titles if it just didn't cost an arm and a leg to send it over here. And I'm sure many people who are maybe across the water in either the UK or wherever you're at, I'm sure you understand the shipping thing from the United States and vice versa. In Canada, you all know that too. It's just so much. But yeah, let's see, where are we at now? We only get warmed up slowly. The original Roots. Let's see where I'm at. Okay, Cinematic Collector. So what do you teach, if I may ask? I teach public speaking. So I teach public speaking, and I also teach introduction to communication. So I talk about small group communication, public speaking, interpersonal communication, so relationships and things like that, just the basics with that. And it's a really great class, and it's nice to see a lot of growth in those fields for my students. Let's see, where am I at now? Okay, Rage says Golden Globe. I have not seen any of these, but I must not be a real movie lover. Best Picture winner, drama, plus The Father Mank, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, The Trial of Chicago 7. Okay, so I've been wanting to watch Trial of Chicago 7. I have seen Mank. I enjoyed it quite a bit. My friend, film blogger Sam, he talked a lot about it, and knowing a little bit about the background of Mank, I think it's interesting because there's some things that I've heard from some of my friends who are like kind of like some of it's real, some of it's a little bit fictionalized, but it's interesting to see. David Fincher do this kind of film. I think it's really interesting, and it's a lot of it's very insular and a lot of self-references to things that you would have to know prior to watching this movie. But it's enjoyable if you don't even know what's going on, really. Let's see. Raquel said, "Oh, Beale Street Could Talk and Moonlight are both brilliant." Yeah, I love them both. I love Barry Jenkins so much. Let's see. SJS says To Sleep with Anger is a good one. I saw that on the big screen in 35 millimeter. I would love to see that movie. I love that cover art that Criterion put out. I think it's really powerful. Out of the Past. Let's see. Raquel said just watched recently A Man Called Adam from 1966 with Sammy Davis Jr. and Cicely Tyson, New Judas and the Black Messiah. I've heard of A Man Called Adam, but I haven't seen it. I would love to see that, so I'm going to have to write that down. Cinematic Collector says, have you seen Zavi's new range of steelbooks called Sci-Fi Destinations? I have not. I do know. So with Zavi, I'm a little bit hit or miss with it. I haven't looked much into Zavi USA, but from the UK, it takes forever to get anything here from them. and it takes like months, and also like they send it separately. I guess that's why it's so low priced on the shipping and whatnot. But for the most part, it's a little bit hard to really want to buy from them. And also, I'm not huge into steelbooks. If you can see down here, I have a few right here to where my shoulder is. My favorites are the Universal Horror Monsters, the Alex Ross art. Though, like these are just so beautiful. But for the most part, I don't really have terribly too many steelbooks. I'm not huge into the artwork because I don't see them that often. So it's not something I'm huge into. But anyway, Cinema Dave from Target. I picked up The Doors on Blu-ray, Elvis, DVD collection, American Graffiti, Scrooge, The Color of Money, all under $10 each. That's a really great collection. I need to get Scrooge with Bill Murray. Good God, I need to get that. And also, I still haven't seen The Doors. That's one of the movies. I used to work at a record store, and that's one movie that I was constantly told to watch. One biography I was told, and I remember seeing the DVD on the shelf at the movie store, that silver case, that double disc, and I've always remembered that image. But, I need to get that movie, and I need to watch it. So those are good pickups. Seen this Sci-Fi Destinations and immediately closed the browser. Chris, oh man, I need to. Let's see. The Doors, the new cut. Congratulations. Elvis DVD collection. Jealous. And I need to watch. Honestly, with Elvis, I don't really know terribly too much. I have been to Graceland when I was younger in Tennessee, because I'm in Missouri, so I'm not too far from it. But I remember going with my family to see Elvis's family home for a little bit, and listening to some of his records back in the day. But honestly, I really haven't delved terribly too much into Elvis. Too much. So this might be something I need to look into. I like how everyone's like just talking about Elvis right now in the comment section. Does anyone have any other kind of questions? I guess I can answer some of the ones that I got from YouTube earlier. So Northern Lights, I know you're here. He says, favorite go-to movies and TV shows episode revisit every couple of years and rainy days when you don't or can't get into something new. So I had to think about this for a second. I really like watching the Way Back with Sam Rockwell. That's something that I enjoy quite a bit. It's one of those comfort films. It's like, a film where you're feeling really down or something, and you can watch it and make yourself feel better. Recently, I actually rewatched The Grand Budapest Hotel, which this is actually my favorite Wes Anderson film, and I'm really glad that it's on the Criterion now. And I love this design and this cover art. I forgot how much I love this movie because I remember watching this when it came out. Maybe it was 2014, but I want to say I saw it in 2015 early when I was living with two other roommates, and I wasn't watching anything at the time, and it was just on HBO. And in the past, I wasn't super into Wes Anderson, and because I've seen a few of his things, but it just didn't really hit me. And I watched this, and then I was like, okay, I'm sold. Ray Fiennes is one of my favorite actors of all time, and I also love just the ensemble here. It's really funny, really witty. It's really slapstick. This very much feels like Buster Keaton, Harold Lloyd, a lot of those just kind of antics going on within this movie. So it's and also like Monty Python. So there's just so many things going on with it. But yeah, this is one. I always love watching Lord of the Rings as much as I can when it's a comfort watch, when I can't watch anything else. But that's a time commitment. I will say that's a very big time commitment, and so I'm kind of all over the place. And then I also watch some TV shows. I've been watching. Anytime I'm like kind of feeling down or something like that, I might put in an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, or let's see, I'm trying to look across the bay at my TV series that I'd watch. I also really like watching a little bit of like Flight of the Conchords as well. Those are some things that I would watch occasionally, but I'm starting to get a little bit more into some British shows that I would like to watch more of, just because I've been reading some Agatha Christie novels and I just want to start watching a lot of those. All right. So that's a good question. Chris says, if anyone wants to watch a quick TV series to watch, Ted Lasso on Apple Plus. It's Major League, the TV series, basically only 10 30-minute episodes. You know what? Speaking of 30-minute episodes, I am really, really big into the older I get, the more and more I want the time length of whatever I'm watching to be shorter. I want it to be 30 minutes, 45 minutes. If it's a movie, I want it to be like an hour and a half at the max. So yeah, I'm just realizing how much time I have and how much, I don't really want to spend too much time on something where it's like, okay, I can commit myself to this. But I love that a lot of the shows I've been watching recently are really kind of short. Cinema Dave even says WandaVision is very good on Disney Plus, 30 minutes episodes. I just watched the first episode last night. I really enjoyed it too. I love the throwback nod to like Bewitched and whatnot, and I know it's going to turn into something else. But I'm interested in watching the rest of that. John LG says, I like the Neurosis t-shirt. Times of Grace is my favorite of theirs. Yeah, it's my favorite too. That's why I have the anyone who's a music fan, Neurosis, really influential metal band from the 90s, really big in the 2000s as well. I really love metal, and something I don't talk about often, but I know a lot of people here would really like to know more about it. In fact, SJS asks, Nathan, what were your favorite metal albums of 2020? I haven't really listened to terribly too much. Let's see, albums I can think of. I'd have to look at my Spotify for the things that I've watched. Let me see real quick with what metal albums I've been listening to. But it's kind of blanking right now. Wayfarer, I really, really like the Wayfarer Romance with Violence. That is a black metal like Western. It's really, really weird. But it makes a lot of sense and it fits very, very well. So for 2021, Cult of Luna just put out a new album. I really like them as well. There's some good hip hop that I really enjoy. Like from Clipping, I said earlier with David Diggs. I know not everyone here is into metal or like this type of music. So, but I'm glad you asked that. So, all right, where are we at now? Okay. I'm trying to catch up where I'm at. All right. Okay. Vanessa says, out of all the unwatched TV box sets you have on your shelves, which one are you dying to watch the most? So I would really love to finish this Bergman box set. I know Dave finished it within like a month and a half or something like that. That's an undertaking. It's an emotional undertaking, and I don't know if I could do that, but I would love to finish this Bergman box set quite a bit. And then I want to do the Anya Svarda box set as well behind me. I think those are my priority for this year. I think those are some things that I would like to tackle, and it depends on my mood, right? Because so lately I've been watching some TV shows, a lot of it a little bit more on the like fun, lighthearted side of things, or some serious things, I guess, like Vikings or something. But I would love to watch those box sets. But I also am going through my Hammer box sets from Indicator. And I've been doing that slowly, bit by bit. So I'm on volume 3 now, and I'm really excited about that because these Hammer films have been so much fun. They've been a blast. And I've also been collecting a lot of Hammer, which I'm really excited to dive further into the more and more I get throughout this year. Andre says hi. Hey, Andre. It's been you've been one of my oldest friends on the channel, and I love seeing you, man. Chris says have to make a list of British TV series on Netflix. Yes, Chris, please do, and send it my way. Rage says, I need some recommendations from older war movies like Bridge on the River Kwai and The Dirty Dozen. So I guess I like a lot of older films like Paths of Glory, All Quiet on the Western Front. So those are maybe a little bit older than those two in particular. But some other war films that I enjoy. I like 1917 is a recent one that I really like. Obviously, I think for the purposes of Vietnam, I want to say I would say Apocalypse Now is my favorite. I have the 4K over here. I still haven't popped it in because I just recently got the 4K player. And I'm also picking a time to watch that. But there's some really good war films that I would love to watch. And The Bridge on the River Kwai, I know, did it recently get released on 4K? Because if it did, that's something that I might want to get. Lawrence of Arabia, I know that's not necessarily, like, I guess it is a war film. I love that movie, and I would love to get that on 4K. I need to get that box set with all the 4Ks, but there's only a few of them on that box set that I would like to get. and that's one that I would like. Kaysen says, hi. Hey, Kaysen, you actually asked a few questions. Let me answer those questions before I get into this. Okay, so Kaysen earlier asked, what is your favorite streaming service? This is a hard one. My favorite streaming service is all over the place. It depends on what I'm doing. So recently, I was watching Disney Plus for Mandalorian and WandaVision, obviously. For Netflix, depends on what it is. There's quite a few series on there, like Haunting on Hill House a few years ago. I really liked that. And there's a few things I stream on that. With Shudder, I also sometimes stream on that during maybe the horror season. I like watching some of those. Besides that, Criterion Channel, I don't utilize it that often. I did utilize it back in October when they had a horror month, and I really liked watching a lot of those films. But honestly, I don't stream as much as I'm sure most of you know. We don't always stream things, and it's totally fine. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I go back and forth, but I would like to stream more. And I also want to cut back on some of the streaming services too, because I feel like I'm spending way too much money on them, and there's probably this big hidden cost that I don't even know about. So that's something I've been thinking about as well. Let's see. Rage says, I love metal. I do too. I hope more and more people. Oswald the Cat. I'm in a black metal band. Ooh, sweet. I love black metal. A lot of the black metal I listen to now, though, I don't really listen to much of the classics. When I say that, I mean in the 90s. Depends on what it is. It really depends. But some of the contemporary stuff that I listen to now is like Wolves in the Throne Room, Deaf Heaven. If you want to consider them black metal, I don't nitpick on that stuff. Zeal and Ardor, which is a really great band. I highly recommend everyone check out Zeal and Ardor. If you haven't seen it, I haven't listened to them. They're really great. John LG said, I watched Cult of Luna live twice. Amazing live act. So my last show that I actually watched live back in March of 2020 was Cult of Luna, and it blew me away. I think they're cinematic when it comes to their sound production and everything they put together. And it was mind blowing. Like two drummers, this wall and wave of sounds. It just like makes your ears bleed, but it also makes like everything around you like feel like you're going on this big journey. And I just love them so much. And I was so happy to see them. I went and saw them in Lawrence, Kansas, which is about 4 hours away from where I live. But it was really nice to see them. I also saw Intronaut and Emma Ruth Rundle. And Emma Ruth Rundle recently did some stuff with Thou, a Louisiana metal band that I really like as well. But yeah, some metal stuff. I'll always love talking about it. Let's see. Kaysen says, have you finished the Bruce Lee set? I'm excited to get that one. Yes, I have. Right over there. You can kind of see it by the Before trilogy. That set is amazing. In fact, I watched it maybe over the course of 2 weeks over in the summer. It was a really fantastic set. It's really fun. If you can, there's Be Water is the ESPN 30 for 30. It's really great as well. It's a great documentary. There's also a really good book on Bruce Lee that recently came out a few years ago. But I love Bruce Lee, and I also need to get more invested into some of his stuff. So let's see. Cinema Dave says Bergman is definitely an emotional undertaking. Yes, it is. And the part I paused at with the Bergman set is Scenes from a Marriage. I watched I want to say the TV series. I haven't seen the movie, the TV movie, right? I saw that, but I haven't seen the other one. So, and that one's a really difficult one to get through. So that's where I'm stuck. Vanessa, yeah, she agrees with the Bruce Lee set. It's phenomenal. The cover art's really great. Let's see, where are we at now? I need to pick this up. The Big Parade. I need to see that one. Platoon. Yeah, Platoon's really great. I watched it. Actually, it was on. So one of my full-time jobs, I work at a nonprofit with Adults for Disabilities. And part of my job is I help clients kind of go throughout their day and with independent tasks and stuff. So I watched Platoon, I think maybe a month ago or something, or at least parts of it when I was working. I thought that was really great. Let's see. SDS. What band out of the ones you haven't seen live would you want to see the most? For you, it's Meshuggah. I've seen Meshuggah twice, and they're fantastic. So I guess the bands that I would love to see live, I would have loved to see ISIS They're not a band anymore, and also I'm glad that name doesn't really hurt anyone's ears anymore because they're really not as existent as possible. But I would really love to have seen them. I know that a few years ago when Caleb Schofield died, the ISIS came back together and they did a tribute show for him, and I thought that was really great. I would have loved to go over to California around that time and see that show. But ISIS would be a band I would like to see. If I'm going back in time, I'd love to see David Bowie, Rush, Led Zeppelin. Those are some of my favorite bands from classic rock era. In the 90s, I would have loved to see Massive Attack, Portishead. I would have loved to see Garbage. These are things that I would have loved to see during that time period. If you're going back to the 80s, I would have loved to see Foreigner during that time period, even though I like their stuff from the 70s the most. The Cure, I would have loved to see. I would have liked to see Depeche Mode as well. Duran Duran. These are all things that I would like to see. Movie Vault. Hey, it's okay. You're here for a few minutes. That's all right. Because I know you and Dave are about to do a Star Trek live. So any of you, I'm just going to give a big shout out to Cinema Dave and also Rob from the Movie Vault. They're about to do a Star Trek live very, very soon, actually. So go check them out after my live stream. I'm going to probably end this in the next 15 minutes or so, where it's been an hour or so. But definitely check it out. I haven't seen as many Star Trek movies as I need to, so I'm not going to be good at that. Let's see. Oswald the Cat says, saw Deaf Heaven in 2017. George put the microphone down to me, and we both sang the outro part. The Pecan Tree was incredible. God, I've seen Deaf Heaven too. I saw them in Texas this is a story. So my dad, he was adopted, and we went down to Texas because we actually met his real birth mother. And that was a really incredible experience. But as I was down there, I had some time off that weekend at night because everyone went to bed so early. And at that time, I didn't have an early bedtime. So I was like, I need to go to, we was in Dallas. And so I needed to go, and I wanted to watch Deaf Heaven, Baroness and Zeal and Ardor. Great set, great company as well. Audrey asks, have you seen David Fincher's Mindhunter on Netflix? I've been meaning to watch that for so long. It's just, there's so many shows I haven't seen, but I would love to see that. McPuffin Muffin says, hi, I found your channel from your interview with Flip Otaku. What was the movie you were discussing that you were saying it looked like a painting? I think it's the third shelf with the white spine. Oh God. I don't recall which movie that was that looks like it was a painting. Maybe Portrait of a Lady on Fire is the movie we were talking about. This is a really phenomenal film because it is based on an actual painting. In the movie, right? This is a really fantastic piece. Everyone needs to watch that movie. It'll make you cry. Okay. So Vanessa said it is Portrait of a Lady on Fire. So I did guess it correctly. Good. I'm glad that I got it down. It's such a great movie. Let's see. Where are we at now? Movie. Okay. The Movie Geek. I just wanted to come in and say hi. I hope you're doing well. Congrats on the milestone of your channel. Thank you thank you so much, man. It's good seeing you here too. I'm really glad that I hit this milestone. I think it's a testament to all of you, honestly. I think I want to give a big shout out to each and every one of you, more so than me, because this is weird that we're doing this. Rage says, I see you are dabbling in the collecting movie memorabilia and figurines. Are you collecting the urge to go crazy with that? Are you controlling the urge to go crazy with that kind of collecting? Yes, I am. So actually, I don't collect too many like figurines and whatnot. So like I have like a Black Phillip, Pop Vinyl, a Predator, Baby Yoda behind me. I don't really like things for the most part that are like memorabilia because they don't really serve much of a purpose to me. This is how I feel about it. But for the most part, I like having things that have utility in my life a little bit more. But it is holding me back a little bit on what I'm trying to pick up and kind of making me picture what I might want to get in the future. Let's see. Charlie Chaplin versus Buster Keaton. So it depends on what that is. I already know Vanessa's answer to this because she's already answered it, but I like them both for different reasons, right? So like I like Charlie Chaplin for the movies that he put out that really kind of influenced a lot of this, like a certain generation. His political views were really interesting as well. I think his life was really interesting. Buster Keaton also had a really interesting life as well, and has done so many incredible stunts. And I don't think anyone was better than him when it comes to stunts. I will say that, and a lot of the visual appealing stuff that he would do. And there's a lot of really great stuff that I've recently watched with Keaton. I watched The Cameraman not too long ago. I really loved that from Criterion. I actually have over here this Eureka set where it has Our Hospitality, our Go West, and College, which were all a lot of fun. I love Buster Keaton, and I also love Charlie Chaplin, and I also love Harold Lloyd and a lot of the other silent actors. And Laurel and Hardy, I need to watch more of. I need to get that set. I would love to get that set. Have I seen any JP Melville movies? I have not, Cello. I haven't, and I need to. I know my friend Chris Hurtado really wants me to, and I would love to. Let's see. Do you think Criterion will ever release 4K UHDs? John LG asks. I think so, eventually. I know that all the other labels are. Arrow is. I know Blue Underground is. There's a lot of things that are going into 4K. Vinegar Syndrome is doing it as well. I think that Criterion will pick it up. I think it's interesting to see like the biggest company, and well, at least for boutique labels in the United States. And I know Rob from the Movie Vault talked about this with like their packaging. Like the Fellini set. Packaging is fun to look at, but for the most part, it's a little flimsy versus something like Indicator really puts a lot of love into their stuff, and like Arrow as well. Arrow puts a lot of really great stuff in production and like how they design these things, and I think it's really really interesting to see that difference in like the quality, I guess, with like these maybe more B movies compared to like A-list movies. And it's really interesting to kind of see that dynamic and where the money's at. And I think Criterion eventually will get to the 4K. I don't even know if I answered that question. Let's see. Kason asks, do you like Willem Dafoe? He's like the best, your favorite actor besides Bill Murray. I love Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe is one of my favorite actors. I love him in The Last Temptation of Christ. I love him in Spider-Man. I also love him in The Lighthouse. I've seen him in a lot of movies. I love him in this one. He's just like a really crazy guy who kills Jeff Goldblum, which is really, really great in that movie. Anyway, let's see. What else? What's okay? Vanessa's Garbage. Yeah, Garbage is great. Let's see. Phil, haven't seen that one yet. Not easy in the US. Yeah, no problem, Dave and Rob. I know that you guys are gonna have a really great talk with Star Trek. I am looking forward to our conversation with Cassavetes, Dave. I can't wait for that one. Let's see. Oswald the Cat prefer Chaplin, Sound Error, Keaton, and Lloyd are the silent cinema giants to me. Don't know where it made available. Film is on Amazon Prime. Okay, Bristolian Dave, it's so great you managed to build up your channel. 2K is an amazing achievement. I hope that one day I can get there. You can, man. It just it takes a few years. You need to just believe in the content that you're making out there, and then being consistent with it, and also just making sure that you are also in a comfortable spot yourself, because there's going to be a lot of waves, ups and downs. And I know a lot of people can understand this, where you feel like making content and sometimes you feel like sitting in front of a camera and talking. I know the last few weeks, there's my best friend trying to call me. Anyway, yeah, so just depends on your mood. And, I think that's something that I would say everyone can get there if you just put it out and you put your heart on the line, I think, as well. I know that sounds cheesy. Let's see. Oh, this is, I like Raquel's Keaton over Chaplin for me too. Keaton, Laurel and Hardy, Lloyd, Chaplin. See, that is something I can see. I haven't seen enough Laurel and Hardy to really know, so I need to figure that out. And Vanessa 100% agrees. Talk to you soon, Dave. I'll see you soon. They need to release Le Cirque Rouge in a good quality Region A Blu-ray. I would like to see that as well. Isaac says, hey, SJS, they're the best friends. And then let's see, Isaac, So what's your rock music forever 90? Yo, what's up, Jones? Yeah, have you ever brought Cronenberg's The Brood on? Have you ever bought Cronenberg's The Brood on Criterion? I have not. I need to watch more Cronenberg. I've only seen Eastern Promises, The Fly, and a few other of his titles. I haven't even seen Videodrome. I know it's a crime, and I also haven't seen Crash, which I need to get on Arrow, or at least watch somebody who gets it. I would love to see that. I think I caught up with everybody on this. This has been a lot of fun. Castlemania Game says, hola. Hey, I hope everyone, I'm so happy that I was able to talk to each and every one of you. I'm going to do this for another 5 more minutes. So if you have any like last minute questions or anything that you would like to ask, I would love to answer that. And I'm so happy that each and every one of you are in my life. And I just wanted to say that it's just been a phenomenal experience. And this just to meet people from so many different places. And that's what it's all about. I mean, that's the reason I watch movies. That's the reason I watch film, whatever you want to say it. It's the reason I like to have this interaction with all of you. And I think it's incredibly rewarding, and it brings a lot of joy to me. And I hope it also brings a lot of joy to you, even though this is, it's weird because we're all watching films and it's usually like a very individual thing. So you're watching them by yourself, obviously during this time, maybe watching it with partners, your friends. But something like this, where we're in a community, we can actually talk about, all the different things that we're interested in. I think is really, really, really amazing. And it's really cool to see where everyone's at. And it's also really cool to see where everyone's at in their like film journey, like where they're at, like where they're watching things. And like, like the first time you've seen this, like wanting to go back and watch that for the first time. You're like, oh, I remember that experience. Or I have not seen something in, like for instance, Crash. Like I have never seen it, so I have no idea what to expect. Let's see. Thoughts on setting up a Plex server? I haven't really looked into it much, so I haven't really thought about it that much. I know Crash is on Criterion, but I would like to get the Arrow version. It's the one that I've heard is best. Vanessa asks, this is a good one. Angel versus Spike, who's better? I don't know who's better. I think I'd prefer Spike. Spike is the one that I think he is the most fun, and definitely has the characteristics that I enjoy, like when it comes to like trying to figure out like where he's at. Like, I feel like with Angel, I love him so much because I love David Boreanaz. I love him, but he also has like this brood struggle that he's got going on. That like it was definitely reminiscent of that time period. I don't know. It's weird. I think I pick Spike right now because he's a lot more fun. But with Angel, with his brooding and like his character development, they both have really, really great arcs. And I love Angel and Buffy so much. Everyone needs to watch these shows because they're just so fucking good. But anyway, let's see. Phil says this community has been a highlight of the past year, learning so much and meeting so many cool people. There's just a lot of cool people with a lot of different backgrounds and a lot of different places we're all at. People in Canada, the UK, all over the United States, Australia, Japan, all the countries that I'm not even mentioning, Brazil, Portugal. Yeah, I have a lot of friends from different places, and this is just one avenue. I like how Northern Light says Spike's a wimp and a loser. He is definitely a loser sometimes, but I think a good loser at that. At least fun, a lot of fun. Does anyone have any more questions before we kind of wrap this up? I'm really happy that everyone's kind of been going along with this. This is one of the first times I've done a live stream, so it's definitely a challenge for me. It's because it's not something I have kind of mentally prepared myself for when I'm usually, doing this in front of a camera. But anyway, I'm thankful for each and every one of you kind of putting up with this and enjoying this. I hope people have enjoyed this quite a bit. I want to say a special shout out to everybody who's watched it. And yeah, you're all really great. Let's see. I have learned about movies in a new way. Thank you. No problem, Rage. That's what it's all about. We're all learning from each other, and I love it. Phil says, thanks for this. You're natural for live streaming. I hope so. I'm I'm good at rambling. That's the thing that I'm good at, is I can just talk about anything that anyone gives me a topic about. I can probably have some kind of opinion on, and I can probably put my spin on it. And Northern Lights is totally okay. I'm fine with you liking Angel more. It's totally okay. Okay, everyone's saying I'm doing okay on this. That's good. Thank you, Raquel. I'm so glad to have met you. I'm so happy that we're gonna soon hopefully do some collaborations in the near future. Andre, thank you. Kason, thank you. I'm glad to have each and every one of you, like I said, in this here. Mary, thank you. I'm glad you were able to catch us here. And I want to say, so we're nearing the end. So I just want to say once again, I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but I couldn't have done this without you. And I hope that this platform is here to stay, and this community is only just going to grow. But I want everyone to take care of themselves, and I also want everyone to make sure that they are doing okay during this time period, because I know over the last year, a lot of us have been either trapped at home or working. I work as an essential worker, and it's tough. And movies help us escape, and this community help us escape, and also bond together a little bit more. Even though a lot of us don't know each other in real life, I couldn't be happier to be here. Anyway, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I want to say thank you so much. I hope to meet a lot of you one day, and we're going to be doing this another time in the near future. And there's going to be some great stuff on the channel, some content coming up, and I hope that you're there for it. But yeah, I want to say thank you so much again. Everyone enjoy your Sunday, hopefully, or Monday, wherever you're at. And I will see you all soon. And have a good night. Have a good afternoon. Good morning. And I will see you all next time. I'm not jonesing around. There's that.